What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Blood of Dawnwalker yet again. It was shown at Gamescom. I watched the IGN preview video on it, and there's a couple pretty big things I would say to discuss. Look, this is an interesting game with being at Gamescom because a lot of what people are running with is the same really like bullet point structure of everything we know about the game. You know, even the quest that was able to have been shown off, and I think maybe even played by the people that were there, was actually the same one that we saw a few months back. Okay, so in that way, you're not seeing anything massively new, but there is something pretty massive about this whole thing, and it's honestly going to be pretty easy to spot even when you're listening to me talk right now and you see it. You take a look at the way that this is shot and the way that Cohen moves and literally the camera work, the combat, all of this stuff, and you compare that to just a few months ago. Now, I'm going to go on record, and I actually am already on record. You can go watch that past video. I've always thought this game still looked really good. Okay, the last time we saw it, yes, the camera, yes, the combat, like you could definitely pick at some things, and they weren't in the greatest of shape. Now, I had said back then, I think this is what this new stuff proves to us, is they still got a ways to go. You know, this is a game that I really all games, okay, should come out when the developers are, like, ready, all right? Now, at some point, you got to push for them to come out. Hollow Knight Silksong, you know, being an example of that. But this is really an example, okay, of if you just give them enough time, I think we're going to be A-okay. Because what we've seen from then, and that, by the way, we're not talking about a year and a half ago. We're talking a couple months, okay? You look at the gameplay of a couple months ago to the gameplay now, it's night and day. And again, I went on record defending it back then, but part of me was like, well, this game probably doesn't come out till next fall. I really don't think this game, at best, comes out until like November of 26, if not later. I mean, that's kind of where my head's at with this game. So all that stuff, you know, being said, they got over a year to continue to polish and polish and polish. And in just a few months, you look at this camera work, I think they found that perfect spot for how that camera kind of hovers behind him. You look at the combat, it looks so much more fluid. It honestly, you know, this kind of blending of like the For Honor and Kingdom Come type style, right? Of like blocking up, down, left, right. It looks far more smooth than it did 2-3 months ago, okay? Just the movement of him and slashing in combat, or when he's a vampire and he's using like the claws, that looked pretty janky just a few months back. It looks a lot better. Now, again, it's not without a little bit of jank. There's even one part of the IGN preview where it's like a finishing animation. There's like a clipping, like he goes through kind of the enemy that he's finishing off. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's got a year plus, maybe even a year and a half or 2 years to go until the game comes out. Like, I really think this is just a game that you give them enough time. The idea is so good. I know the idea has been split for a long time with a lot of people that, you know, you're on a time limit. I believe it's 1 month, right? You got 31 days, and that's when you have to complete the main objective. You can go straight there if you want to. It'd be rather difficult, but you can. The whole point is like managing your time, right? Doing missions drains time from you. There's different things that are available day versus night. What you do will unlock or open certain things that you can go through, right? So I personally really like that. I know not everybody is in, and I get that. I honestly do understand that. I'm really into it. I like that kind of management thing. I think the only weakness is just you can't see it all in your first go, right? Because naturally you're going to prioritize, and there'll be things you skip because you have to, and some people will skip one thing, some people will skip another thing, so you're kind of getting almost two different games, you know, in that way. That's, to me, like, I just think the base idea is so good, and I think the combat idea is so good. The idea that, you know, this game can actually become like a stealth RPG type thing at times, and it can also be like a actiony Witcher 3 type fighter, you know, when it wants to do that. I just feel like this game it's going for a couple different things, and I honestly think going to achieve those. And then plus, like, I don't know, just the world and pulling you in, and, you know, the conversations you can have, the visuals, just the basic idea of like vampire by night, human by day. It's been done a few times, but we haven't gotten too many games to do it. So I'm super thrilled. And, like I said, it's an interesting one at Gamescom because it's like what most people are saying is things we already know. It's not even worth me going over. I read it and I said, what's new about that? Like they're just saying the same stuff. And again, the quest, I think the ending of the quest is maybe like added on versus what we've seen previously. I think there's a little bit more to it, but overall, it's actually also the same quest. So when they're fighting like the enemies outside the castle, like that's the same part. When they're fighting the enemies against or in the cathedral, when the boss is there, in the background, that's the same thing as well. So you're experiencing the same thing, but again, I would say day and night of how good it looks now versus what it looked. And I don't even think it looked all that bad a couple months ago. I really stand by that, but it looks so much more improved now than it did back then. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.